Well, hey, great day to you all. I hope that you've all woken up super grateful to be alive again another day in this experience. And I hope that you've been able to set that high vibe by telling yourself all of those amazing things that you needed to hear. Like you're strong, you're smart, you're beautiful, you are capable, and you're going to flow, feeling your love over worry. Yes, and you're going to flow from that state like water over rocks, with ease and great force, yet least effort. You know, the Authentic Marketing Summit is coming up from the 11th to 13th, and I would love if you came out and joined us. Yeah, the link is in the comments. And here, I'll put it up for you all today here, right too. There we go. There's your link to register for the upcoming summit. What am I talking about? Well, I'll be speaking on the 11th, talking about authenticity. Yeah. And I just would love to say it like I always do, with a trigger warning attached. Guys, I was asked, how do you send stars? Well, at the bottom of the videos, there's a little star. And if you hit that, you can send stars. So feel free to do that. You want to support? No problem. Send stars my way. Helps me, help the world. Literally. All right, let's get into authenticity today on this Saturday. Why? Because it's so relevant. There's so many people talking about it now, and I love it. But let's really get into the truthful aspects of authenticity. So in order for really everybody to grasp that true meaning of authenticity, I've put together a little something to deliver you all today. Some food for thought. Who am I? I'm Tobi Staples. What do I do? Well, I've been targeting the wrong audience. That's what I've been doing. Because really, where am I most effective? I'm most effective with high achievers and coaches and entrepreneurs that want to break through any kind of limitation that they're faced with and step into their highest potential of what is truly, genuinely possible for them. Yes, doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter what credentials they have. I can show you where you're blocking yourself. Yes. And I can show you how to push past it. Big time. I'm an expert at that. Yeah. I've had to push past every limitation that I've ever been faced with. So I know limitations inside and out. And they all stem from beliefs. Every time you believe something, you are pulling yourself away from your truest capacity and your highest potential, unless it's in alignment with it. And you're staying true to the real you and the power of the flow that's fueling you for life. You all worry about your schedule and your goals and your results, but what's making all of that possible for you? The energy that's fueling it all. So you're not going to put water in your car when you know it runs on gas. Well, your vehicle for this experience runs on love. Well, are you authentic to the love that's fueling you in its highest potential? Or are you defending the script that you were handed by everybody else to live out as your false self, which you were made to believe who you were before you were 7? And everything since that has been on that foundation of what you believe to be true about you. So today's very relevant that I want to come out and deliver some authenticity talks to everybody. Yeah. What does it genuinely mean to be authentic? Well, it means when your thoughts and your emotions, your words, your actions, your doings are aligned with the real you. And you're not masking yourself to the world, your true self. And it's an ongoing process. Authenticity is an ongoing thing, and you must be highly self-aware to stay authentic. Yeah. Well, how do you know if you're being authentic or not? Well, how many times do you say yes when you want to say no? That'll tell you if you're being authentic to you. If you feel like saying no, but you say yes instead, that's people pleasing. That's not being authentic to genuinely what you're feeling. Not at all. When you're living in fear of judgment, you're not being authentic to you. Because how many times do you mask what you want to say, or you don't say what you want to say in fear of judgment? You're going to be judged by others, by what you think, say, and do. Well, that's not being authentic to you. That's not speaking your truth. Not at all. Far from it. Are you suppressing your truest desires to conform to what expectations of you are? Well, then you are suppressing your authenticity as well. You see? People have this misconstrued conception sometimes of what it is to be truly authentic. So I've put together a little informative package that I'll deliver to you all today. So, what are some of the things? Well, authenticity is the alignment of one's thoughts, emotions, and actions with their true self, unfiltered by societal pressures, external expectations, or conditioned beliefs. So if you're being true to your beliefs, you're not being true to you. Okay? It is the practice of living in integrity with your core values, beliefs, and desires, rather than conforming to what is deemed acceptable or expected by others. Authenticity is not a static trait, but an ongoing practice of self-awareness, vulnerability, and courage. It requires deep self-inquiry, the willingness to face one's fears, and the ability to express oneself truthfully, even when it's uncomfortable. Ways people aren't authentic. Many people believe they are authentic, yet their actions and self-perceptions tell a different story. Here are some common ways in which people are inauthentic. People pleasing is number one. Saying yes when they mean no. Prioritizing others' approval over their own truth. Number two, living in fear of judgment. So hiding their true thoughts and emotions to avoid criticism. Suppressing their desires. Not pursuing passions because they fear failure or ridicule. Conforming to societal norms. Dressing, speaking, and behaving in ways that don't align with their inner self just to fit in. Self-betrayal. Ignoring gut instincts and inner knowing in favor of external validation. Over-identifying with roles. Defining themselves by societal roles. So parent, employee, spouse, rather than their deepest essence of who they truly are first. Masking emotions. Pretending to be happy, indifferent, or unaffected to avoid being vulnerable. Chasing external success. Equating worth with material achievements rather than inner fulfillment. Or you do it to get a paycheck, whether it feels good or not to you because you need that paycheck. That's not being authentic to you. Not at all. There's many ways to have a paycheck and love what you're doing. Yeah. Avoiding difficult conversations. So choosing comfort over truth in relationships. Yeah, people stay silent to keep the peace instead of speaking their truth. Not taking responsibility for their choices. So blaming circumstances or others for not living as they truly desire. So that's not being true to you when you blame the story of your life for your incapacities to push past your limitations of your belief systems. That's not being authentic to who you genuinely are, because within your truest capacities, you have a highest potential of a flow state that actually governs your whole experience, fueling you like gas fuels a car. Well, your authentic, real self and the power of it fuels every one of your capacities. But do you stay true to that truth? Or you distort it and silence it for the comfort and convenience of others? I don't do that. That's what truly being authentic is every day. It doesn't matter what my words, how they make another feel. They're meant to be heard and spoken truthfully and lovingly. No matter how uncomfortable it may seem to another. It's not uncomfortable for me to be authentically truthful to me and the fuel and the power that's fueling me of my highest potential. So why people are incapable of being authentic? Well, authenticity is often suppressed due to deep-rooted fears and societal conditioning. Some of the main reasons people struggle with authenticity include fear of rejection. Humans are wired for connection, and fear of being cast out can override their personal truth. Childhood conditioning. Many are raised to meet parental expectations rather than their true desires. Trauma and emotional wounds. Past experiences may cause individuals to develop masks for protection. Perfectionism. The need to be perfect rather than real can stunt true expression. Lack of self-awareness. Some people have never questioned if they are living in alignment with their authentic selves. Survival mode. When struggling with basic needs, authenticity may take a back seat to their security. Unhealed shame and grief. Unhealed shame and guilt, a belief that their true self is not good enough can cause suppression of identity. How people mistakenly believe they are authentic when they are not. Let's get into that. People often confuse certain behaviors with authenticity without realizing they are still wearing a mask. Some common misconceptions include confusing opinions with truth. Speaking boldly does not always equate to authenticity if the words are rooted in conditioning rather than the deep truth. Mistaking rebellion for authenticity. Doing the opposite of societal norms just to be different is not the same as being true to oneself. Far from it. Believing comfort equates and equals authenticity. Authenticity is often uncomfortable, yet many mistake their comfort zone for their true self. Aligning with an identity instead of fluidity. Yeah, the flow, Some attach to labels. So, spiritual, a leader, an intellectual, instead of embracing their evolving nature. What it means to be unapologetically authentic. What does it mean? Well, being unapologetically authentic means living in full alignment with your truth, regardless of external validation or criticism. What does that mean? Expressing oneself openly and honestly. Taking full responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Saying no when something doesn't resonate, even if it disappoints others. Choose truth over comfort, growth over stagnation, releasing attachments to the need for approval, trusting yourself fully, even when others doubt you. The power of authenticity in the flow state. The flow state that I talk about. My FLOW acronym. F.L.O.W. Feel love over worry. It is a frequency. It is your fuel for life. So if you fuel your car with gas to make your car run, well, you are fueled by the flow of love and its highest potential in order for you to drive through your experience in your vehicle, which is your body. But are you staying true to that? Are you staying true to what life has made you believe? That's the true difference. The power of authenticity in the flow state. Let's talk about that. When we live in authenticity, we enter a state of flow. Yes, we do. A mental state where everything feels effortless and aligned. This flow state amplifies our highest potential because we attract the right opportunities effortlessly. Our creativity and intuition become heightened. In your truest authentic self, yes, your highest potential heightens. Yes, it does. Challenges become stepping stones rather than obstacles. Life unfolds with synchronicity and ease. Well, along with the rest of this document, I've put together 25 questions to test your authenticity for yourself. Yeah. And the answer key for reflection and integration. But I'll ask you 5 questions right now. I'll ask you 5 questions right now. First question being, you want to know if you're authentic? Well, this is how you're going to do it. Because authenticity is not a destination, just like happiness. It's a daily practice. It's the willingness to unmask yourself, to show up fully as you are, and to trust that your truth is enough. By stepping into your authenticity, you open the door to a life of deeper connection, boundless creativity, and effortless flow, where everything aligns with your highest potential. So, let's test your authenticity with just these 5 questions. Who am I when no one's watching? And why do I suppress that version of myself in front of others? I'll say it again. Who am I when no one is watching? And why do I suppress that version of myself in front of others? A second question I'll ask you. What is the biggest truth about myself that I am afraid to admit, even to myself? I'll ask you that again. What is the biggest truth about myself that I am afraid to admit, even to myself? Third question I'll ask you. If I had no fear of judgment, rejection, or failure, how would I live differently? I'll ask you that again. If I had no fear of judgment, rejection, or failure, how would I live differently? Let's go to number 4. In what ways do I modify my personality, opinions, or actions to gain approval or avoid discomfort? That's a big one. Let me ask you that again. In what ways do I modify my personality, opinions, or actions to gain approval or avoid discomfort? Let me ask you number 5. What do I truly desire in life? And am I actively pursuing it or just settling for what feels safe? I'll ask you that again. What do I truly desire in life? And am I actively pursuing it or just settling for what feels safe? Confront the mask you're wearing and rip it off. The world needs you to be authentically you, without apology. You're unique for a reason. You were made to be you for a reason. Well, like Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. So if you know better than the belief systems of who you were programmed to be, clear it out. What do? Well, I assist people to get back into alignment with their highest potential of their flow state. Yes, very effectively. Through me being authentically me and in my highest potential, amplified by staying authentic to it. That's why I'm a force to be reckoned with. But fueled by love, projecting love at all times. That's the difference with me, because love conquers all and washes away everything. You can love yourself back to life and step into the alignment of your highest potential. Should you truly want that, I think it's time for you to reach out. Stop dibble-dallying. Rip the mask off and let's get you into your highest potential of who you genuinely are. Because I don't really care who you think you are. If you are not flowing from the truest authentic you and the power of your being and the limitless potential of your highest potential and amplifying that, well, then you're Mickey Mousing in the kiddie pool. So high achievers, coaches, entrepreneurs, you want to level up this year? You need to link up with me. I love you all. Have a great day. And as long as you're living by belief systems and a self-identity that was created by your grandparents, your parents, societal norms and everything that influenced you today, you are the farthest thing from being authentically you. Yes, and I'll tell you that. So, dissolve the belief systems. But in order to do that, it takes some self-reflection and inward insight. For that, well, if you need the perfect prescription to get it done, I've got that. So, link up, reach out, sign up for the summit. Come on out. I'll be talking about the power of authenticity there. Yeah, authentic marketing. Yes, very much so. Because that's what everybody can expect from me. Authenticity across the board. It doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing. I am Tobi across the board, and I do not mask what I have to say, what I want to do, or anything for anybody. And I encourage you all to step into the truest power of who you are and stop mousing around with the story that actually blocks your highest potential. Rip the mask off. I love y'all. This is why I do it. Peace.